We'll do it live.
Excuse me, I'm taking a survey. Who do you like?
Horse number 2.
The 4.
The one horse.
I always bet on 5.
Up yours.
Thank you.
Richard Dreyfuss is Jay Trotter, a man with nothing to lose.
You finished with that?
Knock yourself out, pal.
But an uninterrupted losing streak.
I don't deserve this anguish.
There's a horse in the third race.
The man just said that the only way this horse can lose is if lightning strikes. What do you like? You like the odds on lightning?
I mean, really, I don't see why you people can't just watch the horses run around the track and not bet on them.
Just let me win this one.
Honey, some people like to rub me for luck.
I'm due.
But what's happening to him today
My God, Trotter, you won!
is one
I can't believe it!
for the books.
Congratulations.
You might be walking around lucky and not even know it.
$2,450.
I'm rich.
Give me the money.
Because when Jay Trotter wins,
What do you like in the third, huh?
he takes the world
7 horse.
along for the ride.
I'm having a good day.
$69,000.
So where is all this money?
Let it ride. I put every penny on the number 2 horse, hot to trot.
I have a house in the Bahamas and I love a man with guts.
The horse is probably gonna swallow its tongue or something. He's coming through!
You're the greatest I've ever seen. I'll tell my grandchildren about you.
Richard Dreyfuss,
God likes me! He really, really likes me!
David Johansen,
I can't feel so inclined!
Terry Garr,
It's only money.
Jennifer Tilly,
This is what life is all about. Spontaneity, if you know what I mean.
Jockey's high on the horse.
He's probably trying to get off!
One more word, I'll kill you.
They're glued together.
I could lose! Come on! I thought we had a deal!
Let It Ride.
You're a wonderful guy. What a guy.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Cinematic Lounge Movies Maria Missed. Hi, Maria.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
So, as we saw in the trailer, this week's film is Let It Ride, starring Richard Dreyfuss. I actually forget what year this came out. I think it was 89. I'm just going to say that. I'm
Yeah.
probably wrong. All right, so it's a horse racing movie starring my one of my favorite actors, Richard Dreyfuss. Maria had never seen it. We saw it yesterday.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a drink you created for this show?
So in the movie, Jennifer Tilly, I keep wanting to call her Meg Tilly. Jennifer Tilly orders a banana daiquiri. So this
At the Jockey Club.
At the Jockey Club. So this is a banana daiquiri.
What's in a banana daiquiri?
A fresh banana, coconut milk, rum, ice, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of lime,
And a little cherry on top.
a little cherry on top.
Nice.
Yep.
All right.
So
All right. So I'm going to say 1989.
I think that's
If
it.
I'm wrong, somebody will let me know if anybody watches, which I don't think they do. Let It Ride, starring Richard Dreyfuss. Jennifer Tilly, Terry Garr, Michelle Phillips. I mean, there's tons of people in this film.
Johansson.
David Johansen. It's a film about a degenerate gambler who's in the middle of a crisis with his wife, played by Terry Garr, Pam. What's his Trotter first name?
Trotter. I just remember Trotter because
Me too.
everybody called him
Trotter.
Trotter. Even his wife called him Trotter.
Everybody called him Trotter. Okay, so we're going to call him Trotter. Richard Dreyfuss. And David Johansen plays a cab driver who records people that are sitting in the back. This is the days before cabs recorded everything all the time anyway. And he happens to catch 2 guys talking about fixing a horse race. But really, what he's really trying to get is people, let me just throw this town spot, people doing dirty things back there. That's
Yeah.
what he wants.
Yeah.
So Richard Dreyfuss plays a cab driver partner of his, and David Johansen said, "You want to hear something crazy? Listen to these people." And he accidentally plays the thing about the horses.
Yeah.
And Richard Dreyfuss keys on that because he's a horse gambler, a gambler who likes to bet on horses. And they get this tip about a horse that's guaranteed to win in the second race, or first race, I think. So he's at the beginning of the film, we see him and his wife doing vows for their anniversary. And one of the vows he took was no more gambling.
Right.
Except he gets this tip, goes to the racetrack, perpetual loser, has the greatest day of his life, and wins everybody makes, and bets he didn't make, that he didn't like there's one bet in particular that he tried to make, he didn't make because he got pulled to jail for 10 minutes. That horse that he would have bet on didn't win, and he realized, hey, I'm not a loser, and even that was a win for him. Mm-hmm. And the movie is just this ramping up of this guy having the greatest gambling day of his life. And what you want to add anything to that, or what did you think?
No, I mean, I don't want to add anything. That's pretty much what it was.
So I didn't think you would like this film.
I actually liked the film.
So I was wrong.
Yes.
Yes. To tell me what you liked about it.
What I liked. You know what? I didn't, for some reason, I didn't want to like it.
Yes.
I'm not a huge Richard Dreyfuss fan, but it was cute and it was funny, and it had like all the different types of comedy in there. It had some slapstick, it had some puns. It had, it just was really, had these cute little one-liners and stuff. I think, and it was also, it was sentimental in a little bit. So I liked it. I liked the characters in it too. Like, there was just a ton of people in it that were just these
Cynthia
hilarious.
Nixon, we forgot.
Yeah, Cynthia Nixon was in there. Yeah, it's like, and they just all were funny characters.
Yeah.
Like, there are characters that you see around a racetrack.
Well, I would imagine they researched the hell out of this. I know Richard Dreyfuss actually went to certain races. This took place in Florida. They used 2 racetracks in Florida. And he went down there and Richard Dreyfuss, probably a method guy, went down there and researched the hell out of it and became learned how to horse gamble. Yeah. And you can tell in the film, this is written by somebody who knows what it's like to be around a horse track and what all the betting is and how people have their superstitions and they pick the name of their cat or whatever crazy thing they do to bet on a horse is all in this film.
Right.
And it's the funny part of it is when Richard Dreyfuss realizes he's on this heater that he cannot lose. He starts going around and asking people who they would bet for, and every time they give him a name, he just scratches that off the list, and he ends up with the one that he ends up betting on and ends up winning. Right. And like I said, it ramps up how much money he's at $2,000, he's like, I'm rich. Yeah. At $69,000, he's I'm rich. And then we can, we'll spoil it because it came out in 1989. I keep thinking 89. Yeah. He ultimately ends up with $540,000 because he let it ride on Hut to Trot on the last thing. Right. And this, like Maria was talking about all the characters that are surrounded, and it's part of the reason Richard Dreyfuss took this film, he said, because of the all the characters, all the crazy people that were around him that he felt were written very, very well. And he did this probably after or right before, after Close Encounters. Terry Garr played his wife in that one as well. This is 89, so this would have been before Stakeout, maybe, when he had a second kind of run of good stuff. And I just think this film, like you were saying, is just funny. It's got a little heart in there. You want to see this guy win.
I wanted him to stop, though.
Why did you not stop spending his money?
Yeah, the last bet after he made the $69,000.
But he was broke. You realize he was broke. Once he calculated everything he owed, taxes and this and that, he goes, "Oh, I'm back to zero." Well, even with the 69.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't everything that he owed that he was putting in there, though. Too, he was putting in there, other stuff.
Yeah, refrigerator, blah blah blah. Yeah.
But But I wanted him to stop. Like, it was like pragmatic me was like, no, you cannot, like, you can't keep, like, this is impossible to keep winning. And he did stop. And then he went, and he went to see his wife and, kind of get them back together, realized she was so drunk. There was no waking her up.
We skipped this. There's a scene where she comes to the jockey club, sees what's going on, realizes he's never going to stop, and she just says, I'm done. But she's not done because she keeps saying, I love you. I can never leave you. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay drunk for the rest of my life. And that's the scene where she's drinking martinis. He comes home with the $69,000, says he's done, buys her a necklace. She's passed out when he gives her the necklace, and he decides to go back and give it one more shot. Right. I mean, for me, the one of the best parts too, one of the nicest things about it is the crowd that he had at the bar across the street. Now, these are all losers like he is. And was until this day. He had the day of his life. But he's surrounded by all these guys who are his friends and been watching him lose forever. And they're cheering him on, and they're all into it. until the end when he does that speech about everybody taking their money together and let's
Right.
bet on Hut to Trot, and everybody
Yeah.
kind of says, okay, no, we're
Yeah.
good. And he goes out and he does it and he wins, and he has the whole line about it's the greatest day of my life. It's just so much so that I got, let me show you. Dig down here. I collect laser discs.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one that I have that is signed by him.
Yay.
Now, my friend went to a convention that Richard Dreyfuss was at, and I begged him to get him to sign this because, I'm sure he's signing Jaws and he's signing, all kinds of other Close Encounters. I think, for me, this movie is one of my favorite Richard Dreyfuss films. Mm-hmm. I love his energy. Like you said, I love the slapstick. The fact that he has the greatest day of his life is just a blast. And Robbie Coltrane playing the, I don't even know what you call those guys, the guys who take the bets.
Right.
The way he was responding to what was happening. At first, he looks at him as, go to the $3 thing.
Yeah.
Don't bet your 50 here because he knows he's never going to win. By the end of it, he says, I'm going to tell my grandchildren about this. That's in the trailer. It's just heartwarming, I think. What was your favorite scene, if you have a favorite scene? Do you have a favorite scene?
Well, no, I don't have a favorite scene, but I have part of it I like is the sentimentality of it. Like I like all the characters. The characters are really they're all more than one dimensional. Like they have hearts, and they, like David Johansen when he spends all that money on the cat's name, he bets
His
on
cat's
that
name, right?
and
Which
loses
came in last in the race.
came in last, and all these things. But in the end, when Jennifer Tilly comes on to him and he's like, no, I really love my wife. And when she comes back, when Terry Carr comes back and says, you know what, I've decided I just love you. I just can't, And I was like, oh, that's so, that was just really nice.
And she didn't care, she didn't know whether he won or lost.
Right, no, she at that point had no idea.
Right, she had no idea. The thing about that Jennifer Tilly thing, that's the one time he breaks the fourth wall. Right, remember, she's leaning against a tree. He's talking to her. She's all sexy in her, with the red tight thing. Her boobs are just everywhere. She propositions him, and he says, I just can't, I love my wife. And he turns directly in the camera, and he's like, am I having the greatest day of my life? I mean, all right, breaking the fourth wall is cheesy, but I just found it to be very charming. And I found him to be very charming in this film. You're looking at this poster going, oh, he looks like Paul Newman a little bit. He kind of does. But I just found I found the energy that he put in this film to be just endearing and kept me through the whole film. Yeah. I just found it. I love this film.
And the other part I liked is he was excited to get into the Jockey Club. I from what my assumption was, he had never made it into the Jockey Club before, and so
remember that guy gave him.
The guy gave him.
He ended up giving the tape back. This is the one part of the story that's a little. So in between the first race and the other races, he goes and gives the guys who got caught on tape. He gives them the tape back. They think he's trying to bribe them. He's like, no, I had a good, this is when he won the 2000. No, I've had a good day. You just take this. Mm-hmm. That's when the guy gives him, hey, take my tie, take my ticket to the Jockey Club, and go have yourself a good day. That's how he ended up at the Jockey Club, which was just great. He had a great day. He had a great day. I mean, we'd all like a day like that.
So he ends up at the Jockey Club, which is someplace he always wanted to be. Right. So he gets there, and after he wins that bet, they all turn on him. They're like, why didn't you share that with me? And he realized, I liked that at that point he realized, the Jockey Club wasn't where he belonged. Even though he made all this money, then he went back to the bar across the street. And he's like, this is not, he's like, these people are just not who I'm with. Plus, he didn't figure out who he was betting for until he figured out who everybody else was betting for. And then he bet
against. Well, he always bet against Johansen's pick, David Johansen. Including the last horse, Hot to Trot, where he was just David Johansen says, look at that. The guy, the horse is blind. He can't even see. You wouldn't. And the horse looks at Richard Dreyfuss and gives him the wink. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. This is great stuff. And what else about that scene in the Jockey Club? That has also my favorite just throwaway kind of where he jumps up. I'm having a great day. And he jumps up. And he holds that top of that jump for it couldn't happen. Yeah. And then he comes back down. I just found that to be, there's so many little things in this film, so many weird characters, so many little, if you've been around horse any gambling, okay? Like if you're going to go to the casino, those people like that looking straight into the camera and tell you which horse they're going to bet for. You see that at a everybody has their idiosyncrasies at a blackjack table and a horse race. And they kind of nailed all these. The other technique they were doing that I loved is everybody he saw who worked at the horse track, he would calculate in his head. You'd hear him say, okay, this guy, he's selling sandwiches here. He makes, let's say, $200 a day. He's doing the whole thing through the whole year. Wow, that guy does. And you hear the guy say, you don't see him say it. You hear him say, yeah, that's a pretty good haul. Or if there's a guy in the bathroom who's just selling the paper towels, you hear him go, yeah, that's no money. I can barely, whatever. Yeah. Here's $1. Oh, that'll get my kid 4 minutes of scholarship or something. 4 minutes of... And all those little things that they were doing that you knew it was somebody who had been, it seemed like somebody who had been around a racetrack, and how compulsive gamblers justify what they're doing and then actually do what they're doing, which is bet on their cat or the color, or I remember when people would go to, dog races, you'd wait to see which one went to the bathroom right before the race, and you'd bet on that one. Cause there's so many things, and it's all, I'm not gonna say it's all luck, because if horse races are fixed and all that, what are you gonna do? And frankly, this was all predicated on a cheat, because he
But
cheated.
The question is, was it really a cheat? Because remember the guy said to the jockey right before he ran, just go fast.
Well,
he didn't think there was no
so the fix wasn't really
was the fix really in? That's the question.
Question.
Was it?
That makes me feel a little better. So it wasn't all predicated on a mountain of lies.
Because when you think about it, the rest of the time, like they gave him the hint on the second horse, and that one won, but the last one was all him.
Hot to trot, yeah. Because the horse winked at him, though.
Yeah, because the horse winked.
Magical. What do you call this? Magical. There's a word for it in films. I always forget it.
In literature, it's called magical realism.
Well, I think that's what I think in the film that's what it's called too. Mm-hmm. I just can't. There was a lot of that going on in this film.
Right.
People are saying things to him to tell him you're making the right choice, but they're not really saying it to him. He's hearing it. So, it's predicated on that this is just going to be a day he's never, ever going to have again in his life. And he didn't. He walked away with $540,000. He's going to be set. He gets back with his wife. Supposedly he'll never go back, but I doubt it. Yeah. I bet you he'll be back.
Right.
Probably lose it all the next day. Who knows?
Oh,
he's not going to let that ride, 540. So I actually thought you would hate it. I don't know. I couldn't remember how much I knew Jennifer Tilly was in her. I didn't quite remember how much she was going to impact, the misogyny angle. Yeah. But I kind of felt like all the female characters were kind of, played pretty well. Michelle Phillips was funny.
Well, they were all like were the female characters, other than Terry Garr, the two women were there for the sugar daddies. They were stereotypical women, but the oxygen mask. But that was like another thing I kind of liked about it was they did that thing where in the background they have funny stuff happening. So like Dreyfuss is doing something, but in the background the guy with the oxygen mask is like falling over and things are happening. And I like that.
Everybody's writing checks to the bookie that's sitting there, including the guy with the oxygen mask.
Right.
So Michelle Phillips is full of crap. They're not making a lot of money. Everybody's borrowing money off the shyster that came in and his partner and all that. Yeah, so many interesting characters. And again, this is absolutely one of my favorite Richard Dreyfuss films. I'm going to put it right up there against him playing Hooper in Jaws and this one. I just find this one to be just really well. Anything else you want to say before we rate this one?
No, I liked him as a character in this much better than I did in Goodbye Girl. Although he's this similar kind of guy.
Yeah, well, he was kind of a dick in this one. There's no question.
That's what I mean. He was kind of a similar kind of guy, but he pulled it out in the end. He was kind of a dick, but then he paid off the guy's gambling bets.
Right.
Right. He was trying to make easy money, but it kind of was working, and he was the joy he was getting from winning wasn't, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like more of a naive like happiness and joy than it was, there was no mean-spirited to it. There was no rubbing of other people's noses. His luck, he didn't.
No, he was willing to give.
So he was like, come along for the ride, everybody.
He was telling everybody his
day.
bets. They just didn't bet on him. That's what happened to his friend David Johansen.
Bets. Yeah.
He didn't bet on the first one that he knew was a sure thing, and then he lost. So he's a loser the whole movie. And Richard Dreyfuss kept saying, "Why didn't you listen to me?"
Right.
And people still didn't listen to him as he was on his thing. And So yeah, that's a good take. That's a good take. What would you rate this one?
Out of 5. See,
Yeah,
5's like so small.
Well, I mean, okay, we're doing 5. I'm not changing that.
I mean, I would give it like a 3.5 or 4 even.
Okay.
It was a fun, enjoyable movie, you know. There's no heavy message.
Not love your wife no matter what. Not love your husband no matter what. No heavy message.
I didn't find that a heavy message. I didn't find that hard-hitting message. Like, if he had lost, then the message, the message if he had lost everything, and, that would have been the message. But it wasn't. But it also wasn't giving you the message that you needed to do what he was doing either. It was just kind of like a fun day.
Yeah. He had a great day.
Yeah.
And remember, he prayed to God at the beginning. Just give me this one today. He likes me. He really
Yeah.
likes me. I'm having the greatest day of my life. Just a charming film. Charming film. I'm going to go 4 as well. I can't give it
Okay.
a complete 5, but I'm glad you watched it. I thought you would hate it, so I'm thrilled about that. That's awesome. So there you go. Let it ride.
Yeah, there we go.
Would you recommend this to any friends?
No.
Oh, no.
Well, I
If someone said, "Give me a fun movie that I just need a funny movie. I don't want anything serious."
well, if somebody said that, I might recommend
Do they have to
it.
go? But it has to have Richard Dreyfuss in there, and it has
Well,
to have
no, I
horse
just
racing.
the
Does
thing
have to be
is
that
that
specific?
people don't come to me for movie recommendations ever.
Okay, but if
people
they
come
did,
to me for
I-
serial killer recommendations.
Okay, well, that's okay. That's scary. I know what you mean, but that's a little.
What's the most interesting serial killer? They come to me.
Who is it?
Movies? Oh, the most interesting one. It moves and shifts based on the time. So
All right. Well, good job. All right. Let's see what your next film's going to be.
okay, we rolling.
We're going to roll in
What
a
do we
second.
spin?
Let me put this thing up here. Okay. Ready? Mm-hmm. Spinny. What does that look for? Here we go again with the looks. The Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid.
Never seen it? I'm talking about the original, not the one with
That's why it's on here. Never seen it.
Oh, that's true. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay. This is another heartwarming romance.
Can't stand Ralph Macchio. He better
What?
be better than this.
He's adorable.
This is
Elizabeth
the one where the
Shue.
wax on, wax
Wax
off.
on, wax off.
I know a lot of the lines from it, but I've never seen the
Well,
movie.
then that means something.
That's because people keep saying it. It annoys me.
Oh. Okay, well, guess what? You're stuck
We're gonna watch
watching
The
movie
Karate
now.
Kid.
You're stuck watching Karate Kid. The Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid.
All right,
Okay.
so that's the next one.
Okay.
There's some other good ones on there. I'm going to add some more too, but
You're going to add some more?
I think I am.
Okay.
Got to get through. We still got a lot to
We
get
do.
through.
There are a lot.
Karate Kid.
There's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Oh, I know that. Well, listen, it's not like I've seen every movie ever made either, but it's funny. I'm bringing the movies that I want you to see to this thing. Some I've added that I haven't seen either. Like there's a couple on there that I don't think I've seen, but maybe I have. I don't know. There's a lot of guy movies coming up. We got Butch and Sundance, The Sting, Midnight Run. You're really going to, the other guys. These are,
I've never even heard of the other guys.
okay, that's Will Ferrell and what's his name? Mark Wahlberg.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got a lot to look forward to. And then we'll do some other ones. I think I want to do a couple of current movies that we go see. Mm-hmm. As we see more, we'll see more. I'd like to do those as well. So we'll mix that in with that.
Okay.
For all our 12 viewers that we have. This would be awesome. All right? There we go. I hope you have a good day because I'm having a great day.
There you go.
Toast.
Cheers.